Hi everyone, how y'all doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here sipping on me a nice sea breeze. It's really cold outside today. It was damp yesterday and raining all day. Today I want to feel like the sun was out, so I grabbed me 1.5 ounces of cranberry juice, 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice, tipped me off 1.5 ounces of vodka, put it over some ice, and I got me sea breeze. It felt like sunshine to me today, although it's been a cloudy day. I decided since it was one of those days, let me check my refrigerator out, see if I could make me something very quick and very easy. Well, I had some leftover. So I said, let me take those and make me a nice, big, delicious, meaty chili. Goes well on a night like tonight. So what I think I have here for you is very appetizing, meaty. You can eat it alone or you can add things to it. So let me tell you what your ingredients are and let's get this dish on. First of all, you got your pot here. I'm gonna open it up for you. We're gonna put the stuff directly on in it and get it in the oven. We're not putting this in the oven, people. We're gonna put this on the stove, this chili. All right, what I have here for you is 3 cups, after they're cooked, pinto beans. They have been cooked. They were 1/2 pound, equal to 3 cups. Cooked them, they're ready, and I left them so they're slightly al dente, meaning when you pierce them, they don't fully feel mushy. You don't want your bean to get mushy, right? So you get them to that texture. I have here 1 pound of chuck beef. It came from a choice beef roast that I purchased. I have taken it, I've squared it, cubed it. We're gonna put that on in there. Then I've taken me a pound, almost a pound, about 1/2 pound to a pound of 100% beef hot sausage. The sausage I'm using, they're made by Hillshire Farm. I find them, I like them, but you can use whatever kind of spice sausage that you like. This is hot. It's grilled in some onions. I've already sauteed it. I'm putting that in there. Now, when I sauteed it in the onions, I made sure it got kind of crispy a little bit, somewhat what they call caramelized. And I simmered it in olive oil. Now, what I have here for you is, this is a roux. This roux I made, and then I put it in this container and I froze it. If you watch my video on gravies, soups, and such, you'll find out a little bit more information. And I will be telling you a little bit more about all these items and how to get them done once we get the pot on the stove. Now, in this roux, I have made a dark type gravy. And what I did is I took my Cajun seasoning that I had, and I took some sesame oil that I had, and I placed it in there, and I kind of browned that Cajun seasoning in there a little bit till it mixed in really good. I add a small, not quite even a teaspoonful of flour in it. Now, in this you have some, how do you explain it? Some juices that came as you cooked your beef when you made your chuck roast. So I also have those drippings in there. I'm gonna take all this and mix it together, and I'm going to pour it in there. As you can see, it's a thick roux. That is going to be the thickness of your sauce. You don't need to go back and do a flour and all that to thicken it. It's going to be automatically thickened. Excuse me, y'all, I got to wash my hands. I'm sure y'all familiar with that. Now, while we're getting this on, I want to tell you that your beans, there's a way you have to wash them and do them. You'll find the recipes up under my description. I'm going to explain to you in a few seconds, as soon as we get this dish on, some things that you need to do with these items so that you can have them together. Now, this is the way you cook chili with your own seasoning. It has paprika in it, chili powder, garlic, a little bit, like I told you, a dab of flour, some kind of fat you're going to always use for your roux, and flour of some sort. For my flour, mainly, I use my Cajun seasoning. I want you to get all that stuff. You're going to mix it all together in your pot. So what you have in here is you have about a half pound of chuck roast. You have almost a half to a pound of hot sausage links, 100% beef. You have half a white medium onion, cut, chopped, also put in there. Okay? You have your pinto beans, fully cooked, that you soaked overnight before you cook them. And you cook them till they were al dente. Then you're going to take your dish here. I want you to get you some water. I have my bowl here. It's good enough for me. And I want you to put about enough water so that it's about a third of your pot. Okay? That's all you need. About a third of your pot. All right, once you get your water in there, I want you to take your food, I want you to put it on your high here, turn it on to about a medium. And you're gonna simmer that for approximately anywhere from, once it gets to boiling, you're gonna turn it down and simmer for about 15, 20 minutes. Now, what did we have there? What we had was some cooked beans. Now, when you open your bag beans, there's a procedure that you go through. It's on the bag, and you must clean those beans. So what you do is you open them up. You have one or two ways to do them. You could take them out, put them in some hot water, cold water, put them on the stove, bring them to a boil, let them sit for an hour, rinse them off, go about your business. You can also sit them in water and let them do overnight. Now, the procedure that I use, I take my beans out, the bag. I pick through the beans, take out those that aren't very tasty. I put them in some water, cold water. I bring it to a boil. I let them boil for about 3 minutes. I turn it down. I let them sit for approximately 30 minutes. I rinse them off. I add water on them. I reboil them again for about 3 minutes, and I let them sit again, anywhere from 15 minutes to 25 minutes. After I've done that, I'm going to come back. I'm going to rinse those beans off again with some hot water, pour it off. Then I'm going to add my cold water to it. And that's when I'm going to put them on the stove and they're ready for cooking. So your beans must be soaked, or you can boil them and let them sit for approximately an hour. That's how those are done. Then you're gonna cook those beans for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Try to keep them from getting mushy. You want them still dense a little bit so that they can cook for another 20 minutes when you put all your stuff in them and get that mixed in together. All right, for your chuck roast. A chuck roast can be tough at times depending on how long you cook it. Now, this chuck roast, I took directly out. I made sure it was cleaned up. I put it in a pan, and I put all my fixings on the top of it, salt, pepper, however you're choosing to make your roast. And then I put my roast in the oven. If you're very interested in how to make a roast, I did I think it was a Mongolian roast yesterday. And yeah, Mongolian pot roast. If you go to that, it'll give you an idea how to do your roast. Now, some roasts may require braising. I didn't braise that because I cooked it long enough in the oven. Okay, now what we have here, after you've done your roast, cooked it up, then you're gonna take your roast, you're gonna chop your roast, cut it into squares, bite-sized pieces, okay? Once that's done, you're going to season it, you're going to cook it, and make a roux with it. Make sure you keep your drippings that you had and put that in with your roux. Okay, then we had our beef sausage. I put some olive oil in a pan. Turn it up quite high, let it get hot. Put my sausage in there. Let them get real hot, cook through. That way they got a little burnt, a little caramelized. When I say burnt, they get kind of a dark blackened seasoned color on them because I had some Cajun seasoning already on those as well, with a dash of salt, a dash of pepper, and some green onions. So I took those and I cooked those together and I simmered it down. Took me a matter of less than 5 minutes, okay? So once that got done, then those also are going into the pot, all right? Now, the sauce that I made my roux from. It was a base that I got from my pot roast, because I made a pot roast, correct? Remember, this is leftovers. I got a little bit of base from my pot roast. If you don't have a pot roast base, then you just make your roux. And roux, you can make, you could freeze it. Mine was in there for about 2 months. You can freeze it up to 3 months. And those glass containers, this right here, not expensive, easy to buy. You can get them in larger size for as much as you want for roux. And they go from the freezer to the oven. And you can have them on the refrigerator. So what I'm saying is, when you transfer them, you have to make sure they cool down a little bit. You can't take them from directly frozen and put them in the oven. Okay, you got to cool it down to a temperature. But those come in quite handy to help you get your dish done quickly. Okay, I think we got that. Now, if you go back here, your chili is on, it's cooking. I'm gonna grab me a spoon here. We're gonna stir. Stir. Now, what I want y'all to understand is that the chili that you're looking at, I had pre-cooked some of these items already so I can get it done quickly and show you your dish. This here is your Cajun-inspired chili and beef. It is a hearty meal. It is not necessary to add anything with it. It's a meal in itself. I would say grab you a piece of crunchy bread or something and it's good. So let me show you how that looks once you put it on your dish. I don't want that dish. I want this other dish. Hold on just a minute, y'all. Let me get your dish for you. Don't want to use that other dish. All right. Now, here we go. Nice hearty meal. This is a hot plate here, the whole hot thing, so I want y'all to understand that. That's what that is. Now, here we go. See, that's some of your meat. So hard to see, it's hearty. All right, here we go. This your Cajun inspired beefy chili. And let's get some of that. That looks good. And this is what you have. As usual, here I come. Cajun inspired chili. Yes. Beefy and hot. Now, if you don't want it as hot, you can use mild sausage, of course. Also, if you want a little hotter, grab some cayenne pepper and put in there. If you want to make your chili quicker, take you some canned beans that are already cooked. Brown you some ground beef as your meat, the traditional way. And it takes a little bit of time, maybe 15-20 minutes to make some chili. And put out on the table your little cheeses and other things that you want to put with it, sour cream and etc. If you want to make this any heartier, do it over a bed of rice. But I think this is a hearty dish. Nice with some bread, and y'all should enjoy that. It's been a pleasure. Y'all have a good evening. Like, share, and subscribe if this has been helpful to you.